Hey everyone, it's Louisa Tanner Munson. I'm joined by Jay Atkinson once again. We've already got people watching. Jay, woohoo!
Oh, yeah.
Nice? Isn't that lovely? So, welcome to anyone who is watching. I can already see we've got people joining us. Let us know where you're from and who you are, or a fake name if you want. If you want to be anonymous, that's fine. Jay and I were just talking behind the scenes, and really, neither of us are actually feeling like showing up today. As happens, because we are normal human beings, aren't we, Jay?
Yeah. Well, I'll say normal. We're human beings.
Yeah. And we both sort of independently decided that, it's important just to show up and be in the conversation no matter how we're feeling. And it turns out we're both feeling very similar. We've got similar themes going on. It wouldn't surprise me if the people that join us tonight have a very similar theme as well. So this is our kind of effing show, not where we're effing and jeffing, but where we kind of think like, it's a kind of everyone can just F off kind of show, not trying to put you off at all, but that's kind of how we're feeling. And I'm wondering if you're feeling like that too, a little bit like everything's a bit overwhelming and you just need a bit of peace and quiet. Who knows? We're joined here. Somebody's revealed themselves, their identity, and it's our good friend, Jennifer Obi from Texas, saying good afternoon from Texas. Grateful for you both. Well, Jennifer, you've just cheered us both right up. How are you feeling today? Are you feeling that awful kind of F off vibe that, Jay and I have been feeling? And if so, are you happy to join us to sort of eradicate it or at least talk it through with us? I'm seeing this as almost like an agony aunt session tonight. What are your thoughts about tonight, Jay?
Bring it into neutrality is what I'd like to do. But it was hard today because I was just ready to jump off the aqueduct, and go, oh, I've had enough. Seriously, I couldn't believe the way I was feeling, and I was looking forward so much to tonight. And I was thinking, but I can't because I want to be, And then I thought, hang on a minute, how about we just show up as we are? Because do that, you're more authentic. That's honest, and I don't actually feel like that right now because I'm in good company, and what say, misery loves company, but also so does joy. So I just thought, well, the best thing we can do is to be authentic and to just say, if anybody else is feeling like they want to have a good rant, here's a safe place to do it. You can be whatever you want, and this is the place where you will be loved anyway. Because so many times, Louisa, you've found this. The spiritual police come along and say, oh, you can't say that, you can't do that, you can't be that. And I'm like, well, I can because I'm everything. And some days I haven't got my strawberry face on and I'm a human being. And some days I just don't want to wash my hair or get bathed. It just is what it is. But here we are today. Yeah. We give you
Yeah, we've got some hellos from other people. Victoria Benson's joining up saying, dang it, girls, unexpected to hear this topic from you. Winky face. So I think she's okay with that one. And she's also saying Bonoit, which is good evening. We've got Julie Boo. Is that one of your friends?
No. Well, she is now, but don't know. Hello.
Hi, Julie Boo. Julie from Florida. It's lovely to be joined by you. Thank you so much for joining us. We got Newbie Net giving us a bit of a clap. So, maybe this is our getting real show, We've got hello.
Yeah.
From Catherine Connon has shown up to say good evening, Louisa and Jay. It's a delight to have you live with us today, Catherine or Kate. I'm glad you were able to join us. That's fantastic. So we're setting the scene. This is a real kind of live and gritty show tonight. Neither of us are particularly feeling like it. And I'm wondering, what the tempo is in the chat room. How are you all feeling today? I almost feel premenstrual, but I know it's not that. But I do know that I've got my lunar return. So the moon is right over my moon at the moment. And that is often the pinnacle of our emotional and also psychic energy as well. So it's funny, isn't it?
Yes. And actually, the thing is, I wasn't talking to anyone today. I was looking at something somebody posted on Facebook, a friend of mine, Morgan Lee, she's amazing. And she had posted this beautiful thing about how lots of women have been feeling the energy of the womb. And many women who haven't had a period for years have suddenly been feeling very premenstrual, very hormonal, as if they're getting ready to birth something really big. And when you think about it, when you're hormonal or premenstrual or whatever, menopausal, you are very, very fiery and all over the place, aren't you? Very emotional.
Absolutely.
So I think there's something in the air, Louisa, and I think it makes absolute sense that women, and probably men, because they have a female counterpart as well, depending on how far or whatever, So, yeah.
Well, I checked my boobs. I'm definitely not pregnant. You know how your boobs always got to get, they change first, don't they?
Oh, yes, they do. Yes.
Victoria's asking, you guys on multiple channels at the same time? I only see me here. Yes, I know it seems a bit like we're kind of secret agents or something with like multiple channels. I stream this to my channel and also Feel Good Portugal channel. So that's why I think everyone else is watching from my channel. But either way, we're all here with you. So it's all good. We're already getting trolled. So that's a good sign. So if anyone's got a question that they'd like to come in with, that would be really, really wonderful. I do actually have a question from somebody called Maria.
Okay.
Maria, now
Can I just say, sorry to interrupt you, but I've got a couple of crystals here that I really felt to pick up, and I don't really work with crystals a lot, but because of the energy and the way it's been today, I thought that, at some point, whenever you feel it too, we can do a little meditation, maybe at the end even, just before we go. Oh, Naked HD, online stream without clothing. That'll make it interesting today.
I was trying to block the user and I put them on the screen by accident. Right, they've gone.
Needed that giggle. Thank you, troll.
Do you want to start? Let's start with a clearing, because that's how we start all our shows, isn't it? So let's start with a clearing and take it from there. See what arises.
See what arises. I've got this beautiful it's a citrine. It doesn't look like a citrine, it looks like a quartz, but it's an actual citrine, which, in its denser state would be a yellowy golden color. And I've also got this little crackle quartz, which is like a lemon. And when I was just looking at my
is that like lemon? Is that like lemon labradorite?
I don't know what it is. I've never known what it is. I just loved it because of the color. It's a crackle quartz because it's got like crackly things, but it's a lemon color, and it made me think of the sunshine and the Amalfi Coast and Italy for some reason. I don't know why. And I suddenly thought, oh my God, that feels like this is the color I need in my heart. These are the colors, the golden yellow, warm, citrusy, zingy. I want to bring joy into this because I've been feeling quite down today. So I'm using these two crystals, and I shall bring that to everyone as well. So if everyone wants to just have a little focus on this beauty, I can get that right. So it's a citrine, and so it's got all sorts of beautiful things in it, rainbows and things which you can't see here, but it's like a tower of crystal. So imagine that you can walk into that crystal. So get that picture in your mind.
I'm going to close my eyes for this.
Everyone, if you want to do the same, just close your eyes and imagine that you are walking into this crystalline tower, and it's absolutely beautiful, and it's just the right temperature. It's really beautiful. It's cool and yet not cold, and it's warm but not too hot. It's just right. And it feels as if when you walk through the door into this tower, this beautiful shaft of golden, fizzy lemon light pours down through your crown, all the way down your spine, right the way through your root chakra, and enters below the ground. And then it connects with the central sun, which is also warm and golden, vibrant and powerful. And if you then imagine that you are breathing through your nose, a big breath inwards, and bringing that beautiful sun, central golden sun energy up all the way through the earth, up through the soles of your feet, through your root chakra, up through your spine, and out of your head, out of your crown, and connecting with a thin, beautiful golden thread which takes you to your source. And now we're going to, while we're in this tower, bring in this beautiful little crackle quartz. It's a beautiful shape, and it's lemon. It's like a fizzy lemon, and I could eat this quartz. It's beautiful. So we're going to put that into the heart, where it is going to go fizz, 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 pop, 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 and explode into an absolute joyous explosion of diamond crystal yellow sunshine light. And it's fizzing and popping right throughout the body. And it's touching every cell and cleansing and clearing and making you feel as though you're filled with golden champagne bubbles. And these two crystals together can stay in your energy field for the whole time that we are here talking together. And at the close of this, we'll do a little closing ceremony. May love bless this union. Thank you. There you go.
Wow, that was lovely. Thank you so much, Jay. That was just what I needed. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. It's funny. So, Victoria has just joined us on this channel, and now she's saying, "Yay, found the tribe." We've got our good friend Benjamin Stubbs.
Ben. Oh my!
Hey, Ben.
I'm thinking about him today. Oh, hello, darling. Oh,
Ben, if you're up for it, why don't you come and join us? Because you've got a little bit of, don't know if you're up for it, but if you are, I've just sent you a link. Yeah, Benjamin's a bit of an agony aunt himself, isn't he? You know, he's a fantastic coach, real guide, and really good on mindset as well. So, as his name says, look here, it says mindset coach. So we got
a load of other things as well.
Yeah, we've got people welcoming each other in the chat room, which is really, really lovely. I love that so much. And it sounds like Goldilocks crystal, just right. It is just right. You're right. Thank you, Victoria.
That's wonderful.
I mean, since we've last been in touch, I've been creating hypnotherapy, like mini hypnotherapy things, where I've been talking to myself, or myself, like through myself. It's brought up a lot. I mean, there are lots of chaotic energies going on around, and I'm not just like referring to my wonderful creative husband that like manages lots of things at the same time, and sometimes, you know, actually I'm the same, and we tip the balance a little bit, but when we are doing some kind of cleanse, it brings stuff up. And one of the things I've noticed the most is almost like this resentment and anger coming up in me, and then feelings of you know, I was a little bit sort of angry earlier, and feeling a little bit lost, and feeling like, what about me? Like, who's going to listen to me? And then I realized, God, who do I sound like? And I realized I was like my inner 6-year-old. And so there's like these old parts of me, these old hurt little children inside that are coming up at the moment, and looking for the healing. And I can only liken it to, you know, when I think we've mentioned this in a previous show, you know, when you I described it as making love and having like a feeling of ecstatic union, where you feel absolutely safe in yourself. And then the next day, something that's been waiting for that safe energy to come up, almost like, oh, I can come up now because, you know, I can be heard. You know, this part of you that has been hidden and suppressed comes up. And at the moment, it feels like so much is coming up. And I also fasted for 3 days last week, so I kind of brought it on myself. But I think a lot of people are going through this process. How's it going for you, Jay? How are things arising in you?
Yeah, well, they are. They're a different means, albeit, you know, I mean, we've had this thing called, we have this thing in the UK, for those who aren't listening in the UK, called the CSA or the CMS. So it's changed its name so many times. And it's been a doozy this week, you know, for one reason or another, without being too personal. And it's one of the government agencies that is designed to just make you want to kill yourself.
Yeah.
I'm sure other people have had this, you know, and we've really been challenged with it massively and gone from wanting to jump off a bridge to, right, I'm going to bring this into my heart and I'm just going to just see what happens. Because, you know, what is the ultimate worst thing that could possibly happen is I die, and I can't die anyway, so it's okay. You know, and you go through when you're in that vulnerable space and something pushes your buttons. Yes, it does raise anger, but underneath all of that, I've found is that little child that's sat sobbing, feeling really, you know, feeling afraid and insecure and unsafe. And so try to go to that space and bring that part of me into my heart and sit with it and go, you know what? It's okay. It's all right. Right this minute, we're okay. And you have to do that and take it minute by minute, because some days it's really overwhelming, you know. So we've had lots of those challenges this week with one thing and another, always around something like money, which is a fundamental security issue for pretty much most of us on the planet, unless you're Elon Musk or, you know, Mark Zuckerberg or somebody.
I'm sure they also have money issues, you know.
I bet they do. Yeah, definitely.
It's funny that you talk about like the CSA, which for our American viewers, because I know there's quite a few, that stands for the Child Support Agency. Is that right?
Right, yeah.
And they have this habit of offering people money and overpaying and then trying to claim it back. And there's no one you can actually talk to. That's my experience as well. Like there's nobody. So it actually feels like you're being bullied and there's like nobody to listen. And so if you've had that in your field as a child, you know, where you've been bullied and there's been nobody to listen, nobody to resolve it, it feels like, well, I mean, I know from my own experience with CSA or banks or large companies, you know, I go back to the, like feeling like this little child that's not heard.
Yes.
And that everything is stacked against and saying, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. And yes, you're bad. You've done something wrong. And it's a really deeply uncomfortable place to be in. And I think a lot of people are feeling like that at the moment.
I do too. You know, and I think, as I say, it's not just that, but I said to my husband last week, you know, have you noticed how a lot of these government agencies which are out there at the moment, not to get into all that stuff, but, you know, just an observation, all have 3 letters. It's like the CSA, the, you know, the FBI, the CIA, and, you know, countless others, and they're all 3 letters. And I wonder why. I wonder what it is that they know about the power of 3. I don't know. Maybe it's just me being crazy this week, but
well,
it was
as if like we couldn't manifest anything better than that. You might have just noticed I've taken our names off the bottom, and you're talking about the power of 3. We are joined by none other than Benjamin Stubbs.
Hey up, ladies. How are we?
Yeah, very well. How are you?
I finally catch you live. I know me on the catch
now
up.
you are live with us. Now you are
Yeah,
live
it's lovely. And the power of 3. Look what you manifested, Jay.
Well, isn't that just amazing? My God. Oh, rose between 2 thorns. Look at that.
I'll take that. But yeah, no, thank you for the invite. I won't stay too long because obviously it's a ladies' night here. But I thought
no, it's not.
I don't think it is ladies' night. We have a few male watchers, and they don't always comment. But I know there's a few that watch because they've like messaged me after. How about you stay for a little natter and help us with our first inquiry? How does that sound?
Might as well while I'm here. But yeah,
why not? Right. That'll be brilliant.
Well, we've got a question from Julie Boo, who is in Florida, and she's saying, I've been feeling very anxious about the state of the world, and that was very centering and peaceful. Oh, sorry, I saw that and thought, oh, hang on, there's a question coming up. But you might have a comment on that as I just quickly go through. What would you say to people who are feeling anxious at the moment?
Ben? What would you say?
Great. Start at the deep end.
Yeah.
The thing is, really good question, actually, because it's something that I've always tried to find balance with. And what I've realized is it's very easy for us to look out externally because there's chaos everywhere in the media. There's chaos everywhere on social media. There's chaos everywhere where we look for it. So the media is built. And actually, at the moment, I'm teaching media a couple of days a week, which is quite ironic because the media is so important in our lives. And we don't realize how much, even when we quote know what we know, we still look at the news, we still look on Facebook, we still share these posts, we still tag, post, like. And actually, the world isn't in chaos as much as we think it is. There are certain things that aren't. I'm not denying any facts. I'm not denying there are things out there that aren't pretty and things that need changing. But if you walk down the street, if we walk and go in our normal lives day to day, the vast majority of things we see is love. We see people in cars together because they want to be together, people eating their meal together, people walking their child to school. There's a lot more love around than there is hate, division, fear. And for me, it feels like the media and in the whole ethos of social media, etc., is to be a broadcasting tool for negativity, really. And if we actually honestly look, I always see sometimes that the world is like a beautiful meadow, but the media and social media, and we're guilty of it, we'll see a little bit of dog poo in the corner and go, dun, 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 there's some dog poo over here. There's dog poo. Share it. Dog poo. And literally, in the whole scheme of things, that dog poo is a tiny little bit of a beautiful vista. I'm not Pollyanna, and you ladies have said it many times. We're not denying what's going on. There are some things going on. What I've realized is the more we give that our power, again, not head in sand, but we need to put our focus on, right, that's crap. What can we do? Or that's not very good. What can I create? Or what can I focus into existence? And I think that's the kind of, I think when we care so much, we get lost in the now, when our true power is observing the now, being honest with the now, but then sending those thoughts out, sending that energy out to that new world we want to create. So I find I do wobble off, but especially what's going on with Russia and etc., I try and see things from taking a step back and then go, right, what is this creating? And actually, when you do that, you then start to see evidence of things changing anyway. Like you start to see people that wouldn't normally mention conspiracies, they mention them. They'll go, oh, actually, what's going on with these pets? You can see people opening up. I think it's easy to get lost in the darkness, but actually, they always say the darkest night is before dawn. And I see a lot. I see a lot of good coming, and I see a lot of good as there is. There's a lot of beauty in the world. We get lost without it. So I think it's finding that balance of being real, but also knowing if we believe that we create our realities, that we have energetic quantum physics is backing this up, then I keep trying to remind myself, if we're creating our future by our now energy, then I want to be aware of what is, because that helps me create the future. But I don't want to give it as much attention as I'm drawn to via social media, via news, via even conversations you have with people. So I'm not a denial. It's just I use it. Does that make sense? If we believe in physics, we believe in energy, then we've got to take responsibility for ourselves, that we've got to then take a step back. It's not denying it and going, I want to create a new world. What do I want to create? Who do I want to create it with? And I think if we all started doing that as much as focusing on the things that we've got no control over at this exact moment, then it gives us our power back and we feel more powerful. And then we can do that locally in our local, community, when sometimes we feel so powerless by world scenarios. So it's the question I'll just say, whether even in the bestest part of this, when this world existed, there was still awful things going on. It's just now promoted.
We just didn't hear about them. Like they've been people being bombed all the time in other parts of the world, but the media didn't pick up on it or share that.
Saudi Arabia's been bombed. There's all different places. And it's not me trying to trivialize what's going on in Ukraine or anywhere. What I'm saying is, and what I've seen is the beauty of people coming together and sending people things over to Ukraine. So it shows humanity has got a decent core. There's no question. It's just our society is made to extract the negative aspects of it. And I think it's something that I'm, like you said before, when you said you were fasting, Louisa, I'm fasting, juice fast at the moment. But all we can do is control ourselves. And it gives us our power back then, doesn't it? So I would take a step back, realize there's a lot more love around than hate, and focus on that and start putting things out in that arena.
That makes real sense. And I can't remember if we talked about this last time we were on, Louisa, but I had this little thing, and it was if you look outside of you for light, you will find the light outside of you, because the moon's outside of us, the sun's outside of us, that lampshade's outside of it, and it casts a shadow. When the light is within, when you become the light, there is no shadow. and you just become the
Oh my
light.
God, that is a really good analogy. I love that.
I literally had that thought while I was washing the dishes one morning, as I do. And I thought, my God, just become the light, because the sun doesn't cast a shadow on itself. You know, it's like, it's just the sun. It is. And that's where we're heading now. And I think that backs up really what Benjamin's saying about, you know, we can look out there and look out there, and we can look out. And I think this is what's taken me down that track this week, and maybe you, Louisa, because we do. We've got stuff going on, and suddenly it's like, before you know it, you've been dragged over there to look at that thing, the dog poo, you know, and then you realise, hang on a minute, where's the meadow gone? Oh, I am the meadow. I can have that whatever I want. You know what I mean? So yeah, I've just been, focus on that really.
It's very funny that you talk about the meadow and the park and the dog poo, because I've been down the park with the kids today, and I zeroed in, like, as a mum, as every mum that's watching will testify, or uncle, you know, when you take the kids to the park and you like looking, because you don't want your kids to, so you're like, this way, please. But yeah, I mean, I'm feeling the sense to go inwards at the moment, and a lot of the other healers, channels, coaches, and other people are just wanting to go. A lot of people are going inward at the moment, and when I'm noticing things outside of my control, I'm thinking, what can I control? And actually, I can't really control much, but I can control my breath. And so I've been using breath to slow down. And you know, just the moment I start doing some, you know, I start slowing my breath, all of a sudden I feel this very altered reality, which feels very, very calm. And then I'm just kind of like, if there's something in my awareness outside, I'm kind of bringing it inside with me, because when it's outside of myself, I realize I'm in a relationship with it where I have to have like a view on it. Do I like it? Don't I like it? Do I think it's right? Do I think it's wrong? And so kind of bring it in so close that I can't actually judge it anymore. And then I just imagine passing through me. And so I'm kind of practicing that. I'm just like practicing lots of different things, but anything to kind of bring a physiological calm, i.e. through the breathing, but also perceptual shifts just from kind of being a bit playful. But it doesn't always, you know, it works when you practice it, but sometimes you feel like you want to like let off steam a bit.
I think, Louisa, it's a really good point as well to balance the kind of practical sides of our physiology and our biology with the spiritual aspect. So let's just go back to what you said about you as a mum, you look for the dog poo. That's been proven. But if we're in fight or flight mode, our body's in danger, quote danger. Now, fight or flight mode means, do you think you are looking for positive or negative? We're looking for negative. We're looking for extra danger. So actually, when we're in stress mode anyway, our bodies actually naturally look for that. So that's why I want to give people a kind of, when people say, why is it so easy to get lost down a rabbit hole? It's because, or get sidetracked, because our brains in some ways, going back to the days of the caves, and you know, we had to look for danger. So it's something we've been trained in. So it's to kind of take ourselves off the hook a little bit with it. And that's why as a mother, you would, because you want to look for negativity to save, because that could be a danger to your child, to your infant. So it's been easy.
I was thinking more of my carpet and
well, the priority is either or carpet, kids.
My kids will recover. But you know, just, you know, like our life is finely managed, like from start to finish. It's finely managed, like every time slot, because, you know, we're both working, we're homeschooling, you know, 3 kids, trying to have fun and stuff. And so like dog shit on the shoe would just be an absolute nightmare. But I do want to, we're getting quite a few comments, so if you'll just excuse me for 1 second. Victoria's just sharing, like Victoria's been doing quite a lot this week. She's been creating lots of lovely content. She's been saying, been feeling wonderful lately, creative juices flowing and relationships soft and peaceful currently, taking that minute by minute and luxuriating in it, because the seesaw could flip to the other side.
Oh, bless you.
Very well.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I love it when people say they've had a great time, especially if I haven't that particular day, because I think this is exactly it, what she says about the seesaw effect. You know, 1 minute, Ben and I have had these conversations, haven't we, Ben, loads of times, about 1 minute one of us is up and the next one, the other one's down, and then you kind of come like this, and then the other one's down and the other one's up. And it's just like that. Life is just like that. And you are always waiting for the other shoe to drop. And I don't think that's something, I think that's something that we just do. We've trained ourselves to do it, you know. But good on you for having a great week. And thank you for sharing that. That's wonderful.
And what I like about Victoria, I mean, I know Victoria's been creating lots of content this week. And so, you know, that's something else that I would definitely do if I'm feeling anxious. And actually, that is what I do when I'm feeling anxious, is I always think, what can I do to help others? Like, what can I create? And because whatever's going on is for me anyway, you know, even when you're trying to help somebody, it comes back to you. And funnily enough, Newbie saying, I've been having pain issues for around 6 weeks. Since I don't have COVID and are usually healthy, the hospital has been passing me around. Really sorry to hear that. That's, you know, it's annoying when there's like this great big question mark. So my research and your meditation, I feel a lot better. So I've been doing daily meditations. And I think Newbie been enjoying those. Jay, are you able to tune in, you know, for the pain issues?
Pain issues, it depends where it is. Whereabouts, if you can say, whereabouts is it in particular? Because I've been dealing with a lot of people that have had pains arising, new pains, funnily enough. And again, my gut feeling on this, especially for Nubinette, I don't know why I'm going to say this. Oh, I've got tingles around the back of my head. This is the left side. It's probably not on the right there, but it's my left side of my head. I've got somebody holding my head and tingling. And this is going to sound crazy, but my gut feeling is that the pains are associated with her having upgrades, spiritual upgrades and downloads have been coming in for her while she's been sleeping at night. And it's coming from off planet. And I don't mean that in the, oh God, I'm being abducted or anything, but she is working with galactic energy here. And so these pains that are coming in, it's a bit like having had an operation and you wake up from the anesthetic and you go, oh, why does that hurt? Oh yeah, they've taken a piece of my rib out, or blah blah. I'm not saying that they've been doing that, but it's energetic work that's been going on with her because she's been upgrading her vibration. Does that make any sense, Nubinette?
Well, we'll wait to hear what Nubinette comes back with, but thank you for that. Victoria Benson's just saying, do you think about the breast? Louisa, exactly right. I'm not sure I understand that. I do think about the breast a lot because I'm still breastfeeding. When you start controlling that, everything changes in your awareness and heightens. No, I don't understand that, Victoria, but feel free.
Breath.
Oh! Yes. Thank you, Ben. Breath.
Not breast. That's also correct for you, I think.
Julie Boo, correct me if I'm wrong, but speaking astrologically, isn't the veil to the spirit world very thin right now? It really, really is, Julie. It is absolutely thin, especially now, like at the moment, the moon's in Pisces. We've got this colossal, beautiful conjunction of expanded energy, of creative psychic energy, of political, philosophical, thought-based, context-based energy, all coming together in the psychic sign of Pisces, which also represents the dark night of the soul, the undoing, the great unconsciousness. So it's like there's this really big energy shift. And the last time this came about was 166 years ago. And funnily enough, at that time, there was a war going on in Crimea. And it actually ended during that conjunction. So it's funny how patterns repeat themselves. But it's a very emotional time. And it just so happens that today, as we're doing this, the moon has joined them in that act. And this feeling is likely to build up around until the 12th of April. So I think it's really good to get kind of clear about, you know, when you're feeling the discomfort, to create something to deal with it right now. So you get in the habit of it, you know, before it kind of like knocks us over. I see it coming in as like one of those tidal waves, you know, when you're like paddling at the beach and all of a sudden this big one comes.
Yeah.
Right over.
You have to literally take in a deep breath and just go with that flow, don't you? It does help you, you know, because sometimes, I mean, you don't know. Ben and I have talked about this as well, you know, and said it in times, sometimes we go, oh, I'm not sure about all this astrological stuff affecting us and stuff. Well, of course it does. But it's like, if you're informed, you know, and you know there's going to be a Mercury retrograde, for example, it doesn't kind of affect us anymore, does it, Ben? Because we're prepared for it. It's like whatever it is, we just go, oh, do you know what? It's fine. We'll just go with the flow. and we know what to do. And whereas before we'd have been all hell let loose and, oh my God, chicken licking, the sky's falling in. It's not anymore. It's like, oh, Mercury is retrograde, so what? And because we calm down, the vibrational frequency of us calms down, and everything around us calms in accordance with that. You know what I mean? That makes sense.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that. Family Munson, that's Carl. Who's this bloke?
You know what? I knew he'd come in and pipe up somewhere. Hello, Mr. Munson. I'm still waiting for me and Mr. Munson show. That's poor English. We've been meant to be doing like a little get together, the boys, but come on, Carl.
Come on, get your act together.
Newbie Net saying it's my ankles and lymph swelling, which is interesting actually, because like your ankles, your feet are connecting to the ground to do with all to do with grounding, and lymph swelling. It's, you know, astrologically at the moment we've got a lot going on in the sign of Pisces and Aquarius and Pisces, which are the ankles and the feet, and of course right now a lot of the planets are really emphasizing the water. And so I've been speaking to a lot of people that have had a lot of kind of water issues, you know, like cystitis, incontinence, but also like carrying extra water. And of course that's our emotions, you know, and we're holding on to it. And obviously, not obviously, but you know, when we're detoxing, people always say, you know, you should have extra water to help flush things out. And so what I'm sensing with this is you've already disturbed something in your psyche, or like something has arisen in you and it's trying to get out, and it almost needs to be allowed to pass. So like if I was in your shoes right now, pardon the foot analogy, Newbie Annette, I would probably and funnily enough, I'm actually going to be doing one of those little meditations, Newbie Annette, this week on Friday about hands and feet. So I will put something in about allowing things to pass, you know, out through the tips of our toes. But I would you know, when you're doing your breathing, in particular, that breathing that I've shown you, that Jeff Granville showed us, that's in the same playlist that you've been using, the self-talk playlist. If you do that breathing, and when you're doing your patterns of 6 and 5 breaths, like so 5, inhale for 5, release for 6, and focus on that area, and then as you're releasing, imagine the movement, and maybe we'll talk offline about it, but I really feel that you can do some breath work with it and get that like shifting, seeing as you've already indicated that that's been helpful. We've got Shannon here. Remember Shannon from the Barefoot Broadcast days? Good afternoon from Texas. Is that yes, Shannon, isn't it? Is that Shannon Open Door Heart? I think it is. I might be wrong. Oh gosh, I hope I'm right now.
Either way, it's good to see you.
Yeah, voice dictating. So I think that's breath and not breast. I love the download while you're sleeping concepts. Next time I wake up with wicked leg cramps, I'll know why. It's funny. A lot of people I'm speaking to at the moment have had very stiff, like a lot of stiffness in their joints. And I really see it as something to do with flexibility and holding on. You know, like at the moment we're all being challenged, like left, right, and center. Look here, look there, look here, look there. And it's almost like, are we being challenged to change our point of view? And of course, with that, you know, a lot of people are resisting and trying to hold on. So I think our bodies are under quite a lot of stress at the moment.
Yeah. Absolutely. I've had pains and aches and all sorts in places I didn't like, you know. What does she say? I'd like to be upgraded, but I do have strange swelling during the day and at night. The swelling goes down, but it causes pain. I have to calm myself to stay asleep. Yeah, I mean, if you've never had it before as well, I mean, I got a feeling that the kidneys are involved here for some reason. So, and also I felt to say to you, take some baths with Epsom salts in them, and just try to help whatever it is to flush from your system. And again, just as a disclaimer here, because we're not medics, you know, and professionals. there is the other side as well. If you're really worried, just get checked out, and just make sure there's no other reason for that, such as slow blood flow or whatever. There can be a lot of things. But a lot of us are going through the physical stuff and dealing with it physically, and a lot of us are doing it energetically and spiritually. There's no easy way and there's no right way. We can only offer our experience or our suggestions as to what it might be. Intuitively, when the other stuff comes through, that as well. So take from it whatever, and if you feel you can trust your own intuition on this, and ask yourself, am I really worried about this? Because my feeling is, without a shadow of doubt, you definitely are being upgraded. That is not even in question. I can feel that in my heart. And interesting, when you have heart issues, you do get swellings around your ankles and around the joints for some reason. I know people that have had this. So energetically speaking, that will happen, because energetically it happens first inside and then it shows on the physical plane. So, I still say that, but if you are worried, go see your GP, your doctor, whatever, just to say, well, there's nothing wrong, but you may not even need to do that.
I love the disclaimer there. I mean, it's great. I mean, Newbie has already said that she has been round and round the doctors. So we know that she's doing that. I've done quite a few shows with somebody called Robert, and they are based on German New Medicine, and German New Medicine talks about shocks that we have difficulty in processing. So, for instance, when we have a shock and there's nobody there that we can release that shock with, we internalize it according to the biological needs. So, for instance, like animals, when they have a shock and they're on their own, they shake it off, or they roll around, or they do something. Animals have their ways of dealing with things. And humans, we've been educated to not be biological. We've been educated into this idea of science and rationality, and also that our animal side might not be really true. So, for instance, a lot of water issues, according to German New Medicine, speak of marking territory, in the way that an animal might, if they feel threatened because of boundaries. And so we often hold on to a lot of water. And when I was looking at German New Medicine, and reading up about extra swelling and holding on to extra weight in terms of water, there was this biological like a biological event that happens, like fish, a fish out of water. They need to get back into the water, and so they surround themselves with water because they don't feel at home. And so the German New Medicine has identified that when people are feeling very ungrounded, not feeling very at home, and they have a shock to do with not feeling like they belong somewhere, that it can be translated into this kind of fish out of water thing. And it's really funny because I was having something a bit similar, and I'd been having salt baths. So I've been putting myself in salt water really, really regularly and feeling very soothed by it. So I do actually also recommend having a listen to Robert. If you go to my channel and check those out, and go to learngermannewmedicine.com. I think I'll find the link for you and I'll put it in the notes. So hopefully that will be a little bit helpful. Ben, have you got anything you want to add in?
Just like Jay, obviously we're not doctors, but obviously it's things you pick up and you feel. And the thing I've been saying, I've been feeling throughout this conversation, but I felt it before anyway, but even more now, is a lot of times, the energy body and the spirit body and the physical body is all the same. It's all interconnected. And there's a lot of evidence where certain emotions are stored in certain areas. We store them exactly, and that's why it's perfect link from. Don't know, I'm pointing in the wrong place here. Louisa, I'm asking. It's mirrored. I forgot. That we have, we block. It's been proven that we block energy in certain areas. That's why you said about the fish out of the water analogy. When we get a shock, we go, we cover our hearts. Or when we're thinking, we scratch our heads. It's some of these innate things we do without realizing it. And a lot of people have kind of come into surmising that energy can be blocked in our body. or negative energy can be trapped in there where it's an emotion or something. And it was coming around to what I wanted to say anyway, which obviously, and I feel a little bit of Newbinet, hopefully I'm saying your name correctly, but what I've realized more and more in myself, and it sounds a slight detour, but it will come back, I promise, is a lot of times we don't let emotions go because we fear the emotions. The negative emotions we fear. So we go, oh, I don't want to fear that. And this is where the positive police, and I've been one of them on some level without realizing it, where you've got to be positive, you've got to be happy all the time. So as soon as we know this, then we start to try and push away negative feelings. We don't want to go there because we're like, no, we need to focus on the positive. Now, I know I sound contradictory to my first bit, but remember when I said, like, you have to accept where you are, but make your focus, your trajectory, one of love, one of positivity. But you've got to accept where you are. So how you feel, exactly how you feel, is how you feel. And I think sometimes these emotions get stuck in certain parts of our body because we don't allow them to be. So if you think of it from a blocked point of view, the fluid's blocked down there. So I don't know what emotions there are, but all I'd say to anyone, and myself as well, I've been working through, is allowing emotions. So what I'll do is I'll sit there and I'll say, what am I? Because at every moment we're saying yes or no. So if something good happens, we say, yes, I like this. Something bad, no, I don't like this. But every no, we're really resisting. As it is there. That feeling's there, that thing's there, it is there. Doesn't mean we get walked over. But what I've realized is the more I resist the now by saying no at it, the more I struggle to get out of it. So if an emotion comes up or or a thought, then what I'll do, I'll sit with it and go, oh, okay, this isn't very nice. I'm not going to say no to it because it's here. I'm not going to push it down and it's bubbled up to come and say hello. Then I'll sit with it and go, right, okay, this is how I feel. And then normally when I sit with it and accept it and love it, now this is what's really a fine line, because people then will go, oh, I don't like this feeling, but I love it to get rid of it. It isn't. You've got to genuinely go, this is a part of me, this feeling, this memory, this thought, whatever it is that's triggering me is a part of me, and I speak to it now like I would a child. You wouldn't, if a child's upset or angry, you wouldn't tell them to go away. You're like, oh, hello, come on then. Who's this? Do you want to come and speak to me? And do you know what normally happens? I'd say vast majority is that emotion leads to a memory that I had. And now I can get there quicker. I'm like, oh my God. Like, I'll tell you what I had this week. Because obviously we're very vulnerable in here and tell you. It doesn't matter, I know, but I'd kind of call myself a gay man, but I don't like labels. But I realized I was sitting about thinking about freedom this week. I wanted to feel more free, and I've started to feel more free. And I've said to myself, probably similar to your affirmations and meditations, Louisa, like setting what I want to be. I want to feel free. I want to feel free. And do you know what happened? And then I just kept having this vision of when I was younger, and I was at preschool, and we had like a kind of dress up area, and I remember they had like a tutu skirt on, and I remember putting it on, spinning about in the tutu skirt, going woo, and me absolutely loving it. And then I remembered even back then, I going, oh, hang on, boys don't do this, boys don't wear skirts, and I took it off. And do you know what? That memory now, through this link of, oh, I want to feel free, and then, oh, I don't feel free, and then this memory popped up of this, and I went, hang on, that symbolized freedom, that I wasn't free to wear that skirt if I wanted to wear a skirt. Now, if I do want to wear a skirt, but that symbolized when I was 4, it imprinted me with, you're not free. So what I realized is through being not positive, being optimistic, looking to the future, but then being aware of how I feel. And when it bubbles up, seeing it as an opportunity to let something go, to realize that there's something that I've not accepted and loved as a part of me, because the energies transmute once you love it and appreciate it and accept it. What we do is we normally resist all the negative emotions, and then they get blocked in here, in our feet. So, and I think that's similar. What I feel was possibly what happened in here, and just going from my own scenario, that the more I allow the emotions, allow them to be, that normally it's the fear of the fear that I was worse. But when I sat with them, and sometimes I'd cry for 5 minutes, but then why is that a bad thing? We sneeze, that expels waste. We fart, we wee, we poo. That's, get rid of waste. So why is crying bad or weak or something's wrong? So actually now I look forward to finding these little nuggets of things that I didn't realize were in my energy that were making me not feel free, not feel well. So what I'd say, I can't say a name, I'm really sorry.
Newbinet.
Sorry. Is look about your day and enjoy it. I'm not saying you don't do this. Look about enjoying your day and just be aware of your feelings. And when someone gets triggered, you're like, that's bothered me. Why? And then just give yourself 5 minutes to go and sit with it and allow it and love it. And don't fight it. Don't be like, okay, I don't like this feeling, but I like it to get rid of it, because that just won't work. You've got to honor that it's a part of you, a beautiful part of you. This fear, this anger, this frustration, this sadness, this guilt, wherever you feel, wherever it triggers, love it as a beautiful part of you, and it'll transfer. You can't do it to get rid of it. You've got to genuinely love that aspect of us, because it's a part of me. Me spinning about, feeling that guilt was a part of me, and I didn't want to fight it. So I've started seeing all negative emotions as me speaking to little Ben. I give him a bit more compassion. I give him love. So that fear or that anger is still little Ben. It's okay. I'm allowed to be angry. I'm allowed to feel sad, because in the spiritual realm, we kind of put this spiritual police on our shoulders that we should be good and positive all the time. And then it doesn't get us anywhere, because then we deny this. So I found accepting where I am, but having a genuine positive trajectory. But what I've naturally found is, as I've let go of a lot of the frustrations and angers and past traumas, I feel naturally optimistic anyway, because the things that I was looking around were just triggering things I'd already felt from when I was younger. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. Sorry, that was interesting, because I was speaking to a friend today, and her little grandson, who's about 15, 18 months, I don't know, it might even be 2 now. Forgive me if you're listening, Sue. But he had been out, and his mummy wanted to buy him some new clothes, and he's into telling her what he wants now, because they do very early on, don't they? And she's going, oh, do you like these trousers? No. Do you like these trousers? Do you like that? No. Do you like all the boy clothes? No, didn't like any of them. And they came through the girls department, and his face lit up when he saw a tutu. Me want that. And I said to her, oh, I hope you bought him it. And she went, oh, well, I'm going to. I said, please get him it. I said, it means nothing other than his expressing his need to do that. It's just a pretty thing to him. And, he's not interested in clothes looking good or why they look good or boys should wear this, blah, blah, blah. It's just the joy of that, and being allowed the freedom, as Ben says, to go, yeah, you look great in that. And my own grandson, Bo, used to, he's not so into it now, but for 3 years he was dressing up in in Frozen gear, and his sister would dress him up in dresses, and he'd have to be the princess, and he loved it. And he went to the fairy festival in his fairy costume, full tutu and everything, sparkly hairband, eye makeup, the lot, and he loved it. And he's the most laddie lad you could meet. He's a real boy, but he's been allowed to express himself without shame, which I think is amazing. And we should all feel that way,
Going back to what you said at the beginning of the show, because I listened to it, and what I found as well is, if you think about it, the actual thing I was thinking about at that point was money, because I've got a bit more money at the moment, and money's giving me so much more freedom, and I want more freedom. So that link of me and a tutu is linking to money, because money for a lot of us means freedom, like freedom to do, be, eat, do, have, go.
Yeah.
So for me, we always try and work. I'm not working on money issues anymore. I just want to be free. And then what comes up is little scenarios, which of course link to money. So I know you were saying before, Jay, about it, and I'm saying that's what I think for you as well, that maybe it isn't actually money the issue. It's what the money will give you.
Yes.
So if you got the money now, the things that will give you, that's what you're fearful of getting, like you're blocking getting. So like the freedom thing, this me in a skirt, that freedom just being able to wear what I wanted to wear, was with me come from a money meditation. So it showed me that was blocked. You know what I mean?
I do. And it's all energy, and everything's interconnected. And I've generally found this, that when there's been an issue, it's connected with money in some way, but it's not, because going below that on the quantum level, it's always connected with a memory of some other thing. And it's amazing. I just love the way this works. I really do, because once you realize what's triggered you, instead of us going, I'm falling off the horse, I'm going to stay off the horse, that's it, I'll never get on a horse again. It's like, come on, get back on, and just find out what it was, and it's okay, it's not going to happen again. And if it does, you'll manage until you've retrained yourself and your neural pathways and every other part of you and your cells. And I love the way you did the self thing, Louisa, with the cell F, because your self is all about ourselves. And how we talk to ourselves, So that, wow, brilliant. I love that.
I just love this whole conversation, and it's kind of going round in useful circles, you know, like we're all confirming for each other, you know, all the little bits. It's all like fitting in really nicely. We've got loads of comments coming in. Victoria Benson is saying, oh, Billy Elliot. I mean, that's the kind of energy you think of when you think of boys twirling around. I love that. Who doesn't love a tutu? It's probably the happiest piece of clothing ever. And
definitely, yes.
And our little boy gets like you know, dressed up by his older sister. I mean, that's
I love it.
Newbie is thanking us, and we've got another comment. There's basically a love fest going on in our chat room, which is really lovely.
You know what? I can't see the chat room, but what I love about this is that this proves, and I've got goosebumps, our interconnectivity. That Nubina is on about. She's always said, she's just saying now that I buy one of my nephews a tutu. I brought up a tutu story. Jayad's friend had phoned about a tutu. This is what I think the universe has ways of confirming it. And the thing is, we have free will to live our lives. I remember a story once I read in, I think it was one of the Neville Goddard books. Someone said, if God existed, why did he let me fall from a tree? And they said, well, God spoke back and said, well, I gave you freedom to climb that tree. And I think that's what we've got freedom to do. And I think we're on this, I see the earth at the moment as a massive escape room. Not that I want to escape it, but like we've got to figure it out. We're figuring out through that, you know, through love and through these connections and through these shows and through all the meditations that there's a connectivity with us all. And we have a lot more power within than we realize. And I think these external factors make us lose it in some ways. And then we get drawn back of these beautiful sessions. That's why I enjoy watching yours. And I'm sorry I've hijacked it this one, but like
no, it's absolutely great.
I watch them back. I can't watch them live always because I'm normally out. But what it always does is these type of things remind us that we are the center. We're all connected to each other, but we have personally so much power that we don't realize because we give it away through fear, through looking at what's going on in the world, on being informed. We can be informed but not inundated. I know what's going on, but I don't watch it all day. I don't go on Facebook all day. I don't want to hear about it all day because it changes all day anyway. But I've got so much more power to give positivity out, to be more loving in my neighborhood. That's all we need to do, is to be the change in our own vicinity and our own virtual neighborhood. That's what we can do.
Absolutely. I mean, I mean, there's nothing I like more than getting my hands like really dirty in the soil. Like, I'm growing us enough vegetables to live off, and hopefully we can do that. And I'm growing enough in the front garden for our neighbours as well. And we've just started to share it, and it feels really, really good. And in fact, my daughter was saying, Mum, the lettuces are really big. You need to give these to the neighbours. And it was like, wow, that's my 6-year-old. I felt well chuffed. We've got a question, and I really would like to, give it a little bit of attention. It's from Maria. Maria has had a series of house issues, and she's wondering how she can heal her house. She has had a builder in that's been really great at getting things started, and then it's just not coming to the end of it. And he's already said that he's not really a completer finisher, and so she's going to need to find a new man or woman to finish her home. And she wants to think, like, her thinking is, how can I heal my house? Because I don't want to bring a new builder in on this incomplete energy.
I'm really hearing so strong. Sorry, I don't want to take over here, but I lit up inside and I kept hearing, what unfinished business have you not dealt with? Because if this is it's a pattern, and I'm tingling, whatever that means, it's usually confirmation of something or other that feels good. But yeah, it's like, Maria, there's some unfinished business somewhere, and it's almost like, and it feels as if once you've done that, it's not. I just want to say I want to hold you in my arms and say, don't be afraid. This is okay. It's okay for you to feel completion. It's okay for you to feel that this thing that wants completing is actually okay to be completed, and it is yours. It's not going to be taken from you. I don't know why I'm using these words, but that's how it feels right now. And I'm tingling again down my head. So I feel it's unfinished business, maybe from a previous life or other dimensional experience, whatever, you know. And it's just these parts of us that are coming into our lives that have been repeat patterns, maybe, that are coming back in now and saying, please love me, please just accept me, please look at me. So I would say I would start by going, do you know what? It's okay. The house is perfect as it is. I know it isn't, and I know you want it finishing, but it's like, accept what is. Love it. Just love that house and put loads of love, spray each room, go round with sage and cleanse it, and do everything that will make that house feel totally loved. Ask it what it wants you to do for it. And then from that, you will find the perfect person will come in and say, oh, I could do that for you. I can do that for you, because you will have completed something within yourself that has been unfinished for a long time. And I hope that really helps, because I'm feeling it really strongly, and I hope it makes sense.
Actually, when you were saying that, I was thinking alongside, you know, like you're thinking, how can I heal my house? I'm thinking the house is an extension of you. So maybe the unfinished business is in your own body. Not necessarily like residing in your own body, but there's something in your sort of energetic field that maybe is outstanding. I definitely got a big tingle when Jay was saying unfinished business. So it feels to me like there's something to get really clear about yourself, and to know that it's okay to move on, like, and not like move on to like another house, but it's okay to move on, like to complete something and then have this like clean slate with no distractions. It almost feels like there's a need for the distraction, so you don't have to look at yourself or look at an aspect of what's going on. And as you maybe you can't internally sage yourself necessarily, but you know, it's interesting because I know that Maria has looked at the self-talk hypnotherapy this, you know, in this last week. Actually, what Jay's saying is like, talk to your cells about it, because like your body is your home, and then talk to your house about it. You know, go into one of those meditations, and instead of following my instructions to like go in, or suggestions to go into a part of your body, go into your house and ask your house the same, you know, look for the wisdom in your home. Ben, have you got anything that you'd add to that?
I empathise with her massively, because as Jay knows, I recently moved house, and so my house didn't have any. Oh, it did actually. As I went to sell it, loads of things cropped up. It was one thing after another, after another, after another, after another. So the money I'd saved before, because I was selling my house to kind of reconsolidate, move things about, start fresh, pay off, literally brand new. So I feel amazing. So that's what I did. So I've downscaled. But towards the end, everything that went wrong kind of did, and it got delayed and delayed. Then another bill came out. They had to change the chimney, and that cost £1,000. Then a £50 chimney sweep turned into 1,100 new flue. So the reason I'm saying this is
it wasn't us, honestly.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't Kim. No, Kim's too far. It would have been a lot. It wouldn't have been worth him to come all the way over to fix it. Bless him. But he did give me advice. Sorry, Jay's husband is a chimney sweep, so I asked him. So basically, what I'm saying is that what happened with me was I got to the point where I'd lost my connection with, even though, quote, we all know this stuff. Even I was like, oh, just come on, I need to get it sold because I need to get out. I need to get pay that off and pay this off and buy that and do this and start my music course and all these different things I wanted to do with the money. And one day we had a storm. It was, I think it was a Dwayne or something. It was a month or so ago. And they went, gale force gust. It was the week before I was moving. And I thought, please, don't let the chimney blow off, and don't let the fence blow down. If the fence blows down, I can't fix it. It'll take me ages. It's a long garden with a massive fence, loads of panels. And I went, don't let the chimney blow off because it's just been fixed. What happened? Those two things. The chimney blew off, and the and the fence broke off.
Oh,
but, do you know what I did? I walked out, and in that second, I cried for about 20 seconds. And then I laughed. I laughed hysterically because I realised it all happened. All I didn't want to happen happened. And do you know what? I was still alive. Do you know what? Life still went on. And in some ways, I feel that with this, that I had to make peace. And since that happened, I just laughed at everything that came up. I know it's easy to say when you're in it, and I'm not saying that you're there now. I'm not saying laugh at it. But what I'm saying is make peace with it. It's okay. It's going to happen. It's all right. I feel there's resistance with the now, which I had. oh, I was just letting me sold, then I'll be happy. But I realised that it was a massive lesson in I couldn't control the house move. I couldn't control what my buyer was doing, what the buyer's buyer was doing, what the wind was doing, what the government things had to sign off. See what I mean? It was so. I'm not trying to say, come on, get over it and be happy and love it. But I'm saying I understand because I was in the same position. But if you come to a point of this, you know what I said about the yes? I don't know if you were watching earlier, but I said yes or no. Am I accepting this situation or am I resisting it? And I feel that you're screaming no at this scenario about the house isn't finished and these builders. And I'm not saying that human side of us feels that way, but just to observe the no and go, do you know what it is? What it is? The builders have mucked me about. It's okay. It's okay. Life moves on. So if you start to make peace with the bit that I feel you're screaming no to, it will get easier. And then when something still happened after I had that epiphany, but it just didn't bother me, and then the house went through. So I just feel observe. Just I can see the yes and no, and I just see you screaming no at a lot of these things, and it is already there. So if you're screaming no, you're just resisting it. So just it is what it is. If it's a bit shit, it's a bit shit, but it's okay. And accept it, and then just say yes to the scenario. If that makes sense, I think you probably feel it in here when you're doing the no. We can, especially if you're sensitive, you'll feel it. So just be, oh, it is okay, and that thing that you could be fighting could be the resistance. That's fine. It's just, does that make sense? It's just, it is what it is.
And we've said before, sorry to interrupt, but it's like, it makes me feel excited when you're talking about this, because it's like the second that clicks into place, everything changes so quickly. Because with our fear, we see things going on forever and ever and ever and ever ad infinitum, and it never does. As soon as you've got the lesson or the whatever it is that you hadn't got, or you let go resistance, that changes everything on a sixpence. Literally, that's happened to all of us. I know it has, and it can happen to everyone here as well. So brilliant.
Because as soon as you make that shift, it changes, doesn't it? And that's why I love the knowledge of the quantum world and the quantum physics, that once you make that energy shift, our vibrational magnetism changes. And something just goes, something else will come in. How many times have you thought someone they come? We let something go, they phone, and it's we see it's evidence and we forget it. And that's what things like these communities like this and your brilliant, your duo is reminding people every week, just, this thing that we all, pardon?
Trio.
Oh, no. I'm just like one of those uncles that pop in at Christmas. Just pop in once a year.
Like, it's Louisa and Jay featuring
yeah, like a rapper. No.
When you guys were talking there and you were saying about like future, blah, blah, like a lot about the future, all of a sudden this other nugget came into mind. And so Maria, I do know a little bit. This is the difficult thing when the people who are who are asking a question. I know Maria has moved around a lot. And so this is a house that I know Maria actually wants to stay in permanently. And so actually, when you were saying future, I think there's something. Maria, I'd love you to check in and see if there is some kind of resistance you have or an idea about what it is to settle somewhere. Like, what does settling mean? When you're in a place like a forever home, for instance.
Good one, Louisa. Yes. And also, is she a Sagittarius?
No.
You can't stay still. Can you
she's a fellow tiger. She's a tiger. Yeah.
The thing is, when you said the word settle, it binged in my head. And I think I'm getting the context. She might feel that she's, I'm settling for a mundane life if I'm not moving about. I feel there's a different context to settle that may be fearing her. Like, because I, again, understand because of being a Sagittarian, I like to move about. But there's that fear of settling, like the FOMO thing, one for missing out on something.
Fear of missing out.
So I feel it's maybe a part that feels like, maybe I'm settling and not really, if I'm not buzzing about somewhere. Does that make sense? Because when you said it, I just heard it different context than what you said it. You know what I mean?
That really makes sense.
I mean, this is a really sort of like co-created answer, and I don't know if Maria is actually going to like message. I mean, I know she's going to be listening remotely to this. I think this is going to be useful. I think this house represents something very new to her, a very like new perspective, a new way of thinking, a new way of being. And she has had a very exciting life, and she has moved around a hell of a lot, much more than all three of us put together. I mean, she's had quite an incredible life. So, Maria, they are our thoughts. Let us know.
It feels good though. I feel there's a good energy about it. I just feel like it's just fine tuning. And I think it's just making peace with the journey of it, and just knowing that we all want this smooth sailing, but we haven't. You know, I know it's hard when you're in it, but I think it's I feel it's a nice thing. I don't feel it's anything untoward. I feel nice things about it. I just feel she's got to make peace with every aspect of it. And like Jay said perfectly, that it's going to be done. I eventually sold the house. At some point, I thought I was never going to sell it, but I knew on some level I was going to sell it at some point. But when you're in it, it just feels never ending. And I think she just knows that it's coming.
Yeah. And actually, on a related note, I just want to share with you, like, I have these weird psychic things that go on, like psychic energy. I mean, if I didn't know it to be like the energy of the house and my energy going whenever I come into a place, I would think there was a poltergeist or something. When I actually sold my house and moved out, the same week that like the boiler broke, very much like you, Ben, the boiler broke, a window break, something else. And then on the day that I was actually moving out, and I put the oven on. Well, I was putting it on to have a last bit of food, just to keep me going while I was like cleaning up, put a pizza in, and all of a sudden the oven door shattered everywhere. And it was like,
oh my God.
And whenever I move in, I always have leaks. Leaks spring out of nowhere, like toilet leaks under the floors, like any kind of hidden pipe just kind of springs one whenever I move in. So I now just accept it. When I go into a house, I now ask it, can I come in? Am I invited? And I talk to the house, and I haven't had any leaks since. So, these are energetic situations that we're in.
The thing is that a lot of these things now has been backed up by science. Like the thing is, like, plants, when plants are talked to, they grow more. When plants get, the Dr. Emoto stuff, where the water experiment, but with plants as well. Yeah, I did a talk once and told people about the energy, by talking to plants and playing music to plants. And two people that came to one of my talks did it themselves. No, they didn't believe me, but they wanted to prove it, and they did. They grew carrot stems, and the one that grew most, the one that they loved, and the one that grew, interesting, the one that grew the least, the one that was ignored, and the one that had hate grew a bit more. But if we're all interconnected and everything's energy and everything's just vibration, then of course the house has energy. Of course, if plants have energy, then the house is going to have energy. And I think it's what I love about the kind of nowness of the world is people are starting to wake up to that. The science is starting to back up these things that were classed as woo-wooing out there. That it makes sense if you're going in with different energy, it might, shake some things out of their, kilter. But that's what I think is, and the more we open to that, the more it makes sense. Like I was listening before, I love this. I could probably tell you ladies. I was playing on not playing on my computer. I was making music on my computer, and then on my YouTube popped up a song by Michael Jackson called "Cry." No one really knows about it. It's one of his later ones before he sadly passed. But it's all about the earth coming together. And on the video, everyone's holding hands. I recommend everyone checking it out. It's a beautiful video and a beautiful song. But it's when he wasn't really cool, and it was sadly towards the end of his musical career. And then I got these goosebumps. I was listening, and I just started to move, and I was like, Michael, because I just got these goosebumps. There was something like an energy around me, and I went, wow. I like this song. But you know what? Whether it's him or not was irrelevant. But I felt something. I was like, someone was there watching it with me, and Robin's going, oh, I've got goosebumps. I was like, oh yeah, someone's here, great, and it's being more open to that. That animals trust this. Animals have instinct. What's instinct? If animals know to fly south before a snowstorm, they've got some intuitive, they're getting feelings, goosebumps, fears. Yes. We're animals, we have it. And the more we embrace it and open to it, like you said about, and the more life makes more sense, I think, than it just being a very muggle 2D-ness.
I agree.
Guys, I have absolutely enjoyed this, and I think it's time to wrap this up. I would love to stay and chat for like all night actually. However, I've actually got something to do, so I'm double booked. Jay, would you like to kind of talk us out of it?
Yeah, just to close down.
Well, I will say goodbye, ladies. It'd be nice to finish as you started. Thank you for the guest appearance.
Yeah, it's lovely to have you.
And I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Love you, ladies.
Right. Lots of love.
Well, that was fun. It's nice to have another energetic, dimensional, whatever. It's another opinion.
It's nice to have a male energy as well, isn't it?
It really is, yeah. And he's great. He is. He's so funny. He's just lovely. We've both known him a long time. So yeah, just to kind of bring us to a close and what have you, and just say, right, I'm gonna focus on this little beauty. This let's have a look. It's the yellow golden lemon fizzy. It's like a sherbet lemon, and that's the energy I want to leave us with, is like those fizzy sherbet lemon sweets, candies. When you put them in your mouth and I'm doing it now. My mouth is to water at the memory of the lemon sherbet fizz. So we're going to put this into our hearts. So just close your eyes and just relax completely. And just, thank you so much, everybody, for being here and sharing this lovely space with us. Even if it hasn't made much sense this evening, we really appreciate the fact that you have come along. And thank you so, so much. It's just nice to know that there are others of our tribe out there holding hands, albeit, we can't see you, we can feel you. And so hold hands, let's have a great big group hug around the world. And I'm going to send a beautiful golden light from my left all around, and see us all standing in a circle right the way around the world, holding hands and sending that circle of light, that golden light, all around the world, so that the world feels it too, and the planet. And then this little crystal here, I'm going to now drop it. Imagine I'm dropping it into a pool, which is your heart. And the ripples from that pool spread in fizzy, lemon, golden, sparkling diamond light out to the very edges of that golden circle that we're all holding hands. So we are now holding hands and we're holding hearts. And the center, and it's like a gigantic Catherine wheel spinning, and we're swaying and dancing and spinning in this beautiful, sparkling light. It's like bonfire night. It's so good. And I want you to all take that feeling in your hearts and in your hands and everywhere else that you feel it in your cells. Take that with you this evening as we draw this to a close, and know that there is no end or beginning. It's all just there. Everything just is. Creator and created are one. I love you all. Thank you so much for showing up.
That was absolutely awesome. I just want to quickly say a couple of specific goodbyes. That was Shannon, and it still is Shannon. She just said, I've just got a smaller horse. Well, I hope your horse is adapting really well for their new life with you. What a lovely place he's got to live in. I think that's wonderful. In Texas. Victoria Benson is saying thanks for a wonderful something, everyone. So everyone, I don't know, my dinner date has arrived. Woo, let the love fest begin. Lots of peace to everybody. Have a lovely evening, Victoria. Thank you so much for showing up. We've also got Shannon saying, I love that, making peace with the journey of it. Julie Boo was saying that was lovely. Thanks, everyone. And Nubianette was saying this was so great. Thank you for the loving vibes. So I just want to say thank you once again for showing up. I love that you show up with us. We meet, as you know, every couple of weeks, and you're very, very welcome to join us. Ask us any question. We'll tune in. And I just think these sessions are co-created. Whatever needs to come out comes out. So thank you for bearing witness to us tonight, in our slightly more human form, like going, we're feeling the pain of it at the moment, but we're still showing up. I love you, and I hope to connect with you real soon. Any last words, Jay?
Just have a wonderful life in all its entirety, embrace all of it, because we all have to, don't we? And we're
Yeah.
always here, you're never alone. You're really
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, on that bombshell, I'm going to leave you with one little short clip for my website, but you'll understand why, because Jay was just talking about lighting the path. So anyway, lots of love. I'm going to end this now. Take care. Bye for now.